What if I told you one of country music's greatest voices was nearly silenced forever, not by fading fame, but by scandal, a stroke, and a fight for survival that changed everything? Randy Travis didn't just lose his career for a moment, he nearly lost his life, his speech, and the very voice that made him a legend. And yet, somehow, his story didn't end in tragedy. It turned into one of country music's most emotional comebacks. Randy Travis is one of the most influential country singers of the modern era, a man widely credited with helping bring traditional country sound back to the mainstream in the 1980s. With more than 25 million records sold, 7 Grammy Awards, dozens of hit songs, and induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame, his legacy reaches far beyond the charts. But behind the deep voice and clean-cut image was a life marked by rebellion, legal trouble, heartbreak, and a brutal medical crisis that nearly took everything from him. Randy Travis was born Randy Bruce Traywick in Marshville, North Carolina, the second of 6 children in a modest farming family. By the age of 6, he was already training horses and working cattle, and by 10, he had learned to play guitar. He grew up listening to legends like Hank Williams, Lefty Frizzell, and Gene Autry, artists whose influence would later shape his unmistakable sound. But Randy's early years were not the beginning of a clean, inspiring success story. As a teenager, he clashed with his family, experimented with drugs and alcohol, dropped out of school, and was arrested multiple times for offenses including assault and breaking and entering. At one point, prison seemed closer than stardom. Then came the moment that changed everything. At 18, Randy met Elizabeth Hatcher, a nightclub manager in North Carolina, who saw potential in him when almost everyone else saw trouble. She reportedly convinced a judge to let her become his legal guardian, and from there, she helped redirect his life toward music. But saving Randy Travis from prison was only the first battle. Turning a troubled teenager into a Nashville star would take years of rejection, reinvention, and risk. In 1981, Randy and Elizabeth moved to Nashville, chasing a dream that didn't come easy. While she managed the Nashville Palace, he worked as a short-order cook and performed under the name Randy Ray for a time. The industry didn't immediately welcome him, and success stayed frustratingly out of reach. Then, in 1985, Warner Brothers signed him, and his professional identity became Randy Travis. His first single, on the other hand, initially stalled at number 67 on the country chart, a disappointing start for someone carrying years of sacrifice and expectation. But his next release, 1982, broke into the top 10, and suddenly the label saw real potential. Warner Brothers re-released On the Other Hand, and this time it shot to number 1. That reversal was more than a chart victory. It was the turning point that launched one of the biggest careers in country music. The same man who had once seemed headed for jail was now on the verge of changing country music itself. Cliffhanger transition. And once Randy Travis broke through, he didn't just become famous, he became the sound of a new country era. Randy Travis exploded in 1986 with Storms of Life, an album that topped Billboard's Top Country Albums chart for 8 weeks, sold more than 5 million copies, and won Album of the Year at the Academy of Country Music Awards. That success made it clear that audiences were hungry for a return to classic country storytelling and stripped-down authenticity. Randy Travis became the face of that movement. His 1987 album, Always and Forever, pushed him even higher. It earned him a Grammy, won CMA Album of the Year, and spent 43 weeks at number 1 on the Top Country Albums chart. He also won back-to-back CMA Male Vocalist of the Year awards in 1987 and 1988. Over time, Travis built a catalog filled with major success, including albums like Old 8x10, No Holdin' Back, Heroes and Friends, Full Circle, and You and Alone. Later, he found major success in gospel music too, with Rise and Shine, Worship and Faith, and Glory Train all winning Grammys in gospel categories. According to his official site, he has sold over 25 million records, earned 7 Grammys, 11 ACM Awards, 10 American Music Awards, 8 Dove Awards, and logged 23 #1 singles. His influence reached far beyond his own songs. Biography.com notes that he helped open the door for younger artists who wanted country music to return to a more traditional sound, influencing stars like Garth Brooks, Clint Black, and Travis Tritt. In 1986, he was also inducted into the Grand Ole Opry, confirming that he was no passing trend. Cliffhanger transition. But for all the awards, the fame, and the respect, the next chapter of Randy Travis's life would reveal how quickly a legend can begin to unravel. Behind the polished image of a country icon, Randy Travis faced deeply public struggles. His marriage to longtime manager Elizabeth Hatcher ended in divorce in 2010 after nearly 2 decades. Not long after, his personal and legal troubles became headline news. In August 2012, Travis was arrested in Texas for drunk driving after a single-car accident, and he was also charged with retaliation and obstruction for threatening officers at the scene. Biography.com reports that he later pled guilty in January 2013, receiving probation, rehab, a fine, and community service. For many fans, it was shocking to see such a respected figure fall so publicly. But the scandal was only the beginning of a much darker turn. Just 6 months later, in July 2013, Travis was hospitalized with congestive heart failure and then suffered a massive stroke during treatment. The stroke left him in critical condition, unable to speak properly and struggling to walk, while aphasia affected the speaking, reading, and writing functions of his left brain. What makes this chapter so powerful is that it reframes everything that came before it. The legal troubles damaged his image, but the health crisis forced him into an even brutal battle, not for reputation, but for survival. Suddenly, the story was no longer about scandal. It was about whether Randy Travis would ever stand, speak, or sing again. Cliffhanger transition. And somehow, against all odds, the man many believed would never return to music again found a way to leave the world speechless one more time. Randy Travis's legacy was already secure before his stroke, but what happened after 2013 gave his story a deeper emotional weight. 3 years after his stroke, he stunned fans by singing Amazing Grace at his 2016 Country Music Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It was a brief moment, but for many, it felt like a miracle. His official website states that he has more than 40 film and television appearances, multiple platinum records, a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and membership in the Grand Ole Opry since 1986. Even after losing much of his speech and singing ability, he continued rehabilitation and slowly improved in walking, speaking, and performing. In recent years, he has remained visible through public appearances, a 2019 memoir, and new recordings made possible in part through AI voice technology. In 2024, he released Where That Came From, his first new recording since the stroke, and in January 2025, he followed it with Horses in Heaven. A biopic titled Forever and Ever was also announced and was expected for spring 2026, showing how powerful public interest in his life story remains. Randy Travis is no longer remembered as a hitmaker. He is remembered as a survivor whose voice shaped country music and whose resilience deepened that legacy. Randy Travis's story is not just about fame. It's about how a troubled boy became a country icon, how an icon nearly lost everything, and how even after silence, his legacy kept speaking for him. If you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, subscribe now, like this video, and tell me in the comments what part of Randy Travis's journey moved you the most.